Let me tell you something strange about cars. Not traffic, not gas prices, not road rage, but the feeling that shows up when someone says, "Let's just carpool." It sounds practical, normal, even kind, but something in you pauses, and you're not sure why. So you say things like, "I might have to leave early. I've got a few things after. It's just easier if I drive myself." And no one questions it, because independence is respected, control looks responsible, self-reliance is praised. But for some people, being in someone else's car doesn't feel convenient. It feels uncomfortable in a way that's hard to explain. It's not panic. It's quieter than that. You're still talking, still smiling, still engaged, but inside, something stays slightly alert. You notice the time more than usual. You think about how long things might take. You feel a subtle urge to know when this ends. Not because anything is wrong, but because you're not the one deciding when you leave. And that's the part people miss. This isn't about the car. It's about the exit. Imagine this. A coworker says, "Let's just ride together to the offsite." You hesitate for half a second. Then you agree. You get in the car. You chat. You laugh at the right moments. On the surface, everything's fine. But underneath, there's a quiet background process running. What if I'm done earlier than they are? What if I get tired? What if I need a break and can't take one? What if I need something from my car and I can't just leave? You don't say any of this. You just notice yourself checking the time, calculating the drive back, thinking through how you'd handle it if you needed to leave. Nothing bad happens, but by the time you get home, you're exhausted, and you can't quite explain why. Once you notice that, you start seeing the pattern elsewhere. At gatherings, you feel calmer once you know where the door is. You relax more after you get back into your own car. You prefer plans that stay flexible. You feel uneasy when someone else sets the pace. You can like them, you can trust them, and your body still tightens because you don't control the exit. When you can't leave easily, your body doesn't fully settle. You probably explain this to yourself as preference. "I just like my independence. I don't want to rely on anyone. I don't like being stuck." All of that can be true and still not be the full story. Because this isn't just a mindset. It's your nervous system doing math. How fast could I get out if I needed to? If this gets overwhelming, what's my exit? Even subtly, your body is scanning. There's often a small amount of muscle tension, a little extra alertness, a low-grade readiness that never fully turns off. Psychology calls this situational hypervigilance. Not panic, not fear, just a system that stays on when escape isn't guaranteed. And this is why driving yourself feels so regulating. Your own car becomes a portable safe room. When you sit in the driver's seat, your body knows. I decide when this ends. That's why getting back into your own car can feel like dropping 2 gears of tension at once. And this didn't start with cars. For many people, it started early. Not with obvious danger, not with dramatic trauma, just moments where leaving wasn't an option. Conversations you had to stay in. Emotional rooms that felt overwhelming. Adults who were stressed, unpredictable, or unavailable. You couldn't say, "I'm done with this." You couldn't step away when it got heavy. So your nervous system wrote a quiet rule. If I can't leave, I'm not safe. If I can leave, I can breathe. If I can't, my body stays on guard. You didn't think this. Your body learned it. When this learning happens early, we often see it in what we call the independent child. Not a personality, not an identity, a smart adaptation. Often the easy kid, the one who didn't make things harder, who managed their own feelings because no one else had room. Independence wasn't a value at first, it was protection. As an adult, that rule follows you quietly. You're capable, reliable, self-sufficient. But you also notice you feel calmer when you're not dependent, when you control the timing, when you know you can leave. You don't just value independence, you build exits, ways to leave without needing permission, in conversations, in relationships, in plans, and yes, in cars. Here's the cost people rarely name. When your nervous system always needs an exit, it never fully gives itself to where it is. You're there, but part of you is watching. You don't melt into the moment. You stay slightly outside it. Not distracted, just not fully there. Because being fully present would mean not knowing how to leave. Over time, this doesn't just create tiredness, it creates distance. People experience you as capable, but slightly unavailable. Reliable, but hard to settle into. Not because you're cold, but because your body is always prepared to go. Living like you might need to leave at any moment teaches people not to lean on you. And slowly, without meaning to, you become someone who is respected, but not fully held. That's the real cost. Not driving yourself, but living in a way where part of you is always ready to leave. Let's slow this down for a moment. Think of a recent situation where you didn't control the exit. Maybe a carpool, a meeting, a family event. Notice what your body did. Did you check the time more? Scan the room? Feel slightly on guard? Now think of a moment where you did control the exit. You drove yourself. You had your own space. Notice the difference. That contrast is the pattern. This strategy once kept you safe. But adulthood isn't about surrendering control. It's about choosing closeness, rest, and connection without fear. And the first step isn't changing the habit. It's understanding why it exists. If you recognize yourself as the person who always wants to drive, always wants the exit, the dark side of the independent child goes much deeper into why your nervous system chose that route in the first place. It's linked below. And before you go, if this felt familiar, comment, "This is me." Not to label yourself, just to notice the pattern. Because once you see it clearly, it stops running your life in the background.